There was places haunted. Sure, several places haunted in Creane.
Oh yeah,
and around your place.
Yeah.
There's a place haunted in Creane, and you know well by the name of Caton's River. Do you
That's
know where
right.
it is?
Yeah, it is.
And there was a priest. This really happened now. And there was a priest from Cork in Creane, Father Catalan, and he used to go up to Colamay Oil Gate to friends. And he often heard this story, but he never put any pass on it, laugh about it. So he was coming home this night at 1 o'clock, and he was driving the car went off the main road and was driving by this bridge onto Creane, and here the ghost went straight across the road, and he had to slow down and stop and let him cross. And he said that his knees were shaking from that home, but he said it was true enough. Yeah, Father Catalan seeing it when they used to go across the road.
I believe there was a woman seen up in Fairy Hill up in Castlebridge, but as I say, it is belonging to somebody still. But this woman was seen standing at the window, and when the person went to look, there was nobody there. There wasn't anyone there. But you think that maybe it might have been a shadow, but my brother always believed in it.
There was a house below me in Enniscorthy, and it was falling. And there was a man at home living, couldn't live in it. And they used to hear the dead rattling up in the other end that was down. So I know I was down there one night and they called me in, the end of the house was down. And here I heard this rattling going on, and I ran out as quick as I could. And what I ran into, do you know where they used to sweep the stuff off the yard one time into the puddle hole?
Oh yeah.
And I was messed from there to there. But it really, and they brought out the priest and I don't know what not, and he said to get out of it. He says it wasn't worth going to penance with it. But nearly all the cattle on the land died that year.
I was coming home from the technical school one night, coming up Hill Street. I turned the corner around by the county hall, and at that time the big long county hall wall was just a wall. There was no entrance like there is now. There was a door in it. That was the only entrance, was a door. And I was coming up the street, coming home, 9:30, 20:10 I'd say. And a man came out through the door. Door didn't open. A man came out through the door, walked up along the footpath. He was dressed in dark clothes, walked up along and went back in through the wall. There was no gate, there was no opening. He just went through the wall. Well, until I got the fright of my life. I was praying all the way, crossed over to Myler side and up the street, and then Mommy Nelly said, "You're after seeing a ghost."
And did you
I did, yeah, I actually saw that happen.
Oh my
Right in the
God.
living daylights out of me. But it doesn't bother me now, I can walk up and down Hill Street, but for a long time I went down on Myler's side. And that happened.
I seen a ghost. I seen one.
You will surely see it, Nelly.
I did, I see one. Wait till I tell you, my mother was a great big stout woman, a right fine woman, and she loved talking. And she used to go to this neighbour, and we had to go across fields and then out on the road, and we were to come home about 10 or half 10. But she talked away until 1:30. And there was myself and Joe, Lord have mercy on her, that was my sister. And we were each side of her coming home, and we were talking coming home along the road, and my mother walked very slow. And we were going by this lane, and here we seen the ghost, and he'd no him. And every other bit of him was there, and we passed right by him. And I got such a fright I started to run, and then Joe started to run, and we ran, we got to this field, and we got over the ditch. And then we had to wait for our mother, and we sat down in the field. And she was about a quarter of an hour before she come, because she was a slow walker. So she came and got over the ditch, and she came to us, she said to us, "Did you see anything?" And we said we didn't. She said, "I won't be caught out anymore anyway." We stayed too late. So I did see him. There's no one, and anywhere I tell it, laugh at me. But I seen him all right.
I did, I saw it. It must have been a ghost anyway, because you might remember now too, Ma, this tall black woman was seen
Oh, yes,
up
it is
in
a
Bridge.
yeah.
Yeah, and Johnny Hearne did see it now, and Johnny, was a dead serious type of fella.
Yeah.
And he used to be in my aunt's house, and he was going home this night at 12 o'clock, and he did see this woman. She crossed the road where the bridge is up there, Maggie's Bridge, and he did see her 2 nights.
That's up the road there.
That was only up the road there, the Maggie's Bridge, going to Eden Vale. And so we got a crowd was went up one night to see who would we see her. And we sat on the bridge until after 12, Matty and Vince Higgins and the whole lot of us. And no one came. And we went up another night and no one came. But this evening, it was in September, and my cousin was out in town kiddie looking. And Jack Murphy was thinking that we walked her up the road, like, you know. So I said I'd go with him, maybe we'll see the ghost. And it was only about 9:30, a bit duskish, you know, that time. Kitty had to be in before 10. And here, Jack was going up the road out here, and I was going down. I was saying good night to Jack, and I looked around this big, about 6 foot, passed right in between us. And when I heard the rattle of the skirt, and the black hat, she had a black hat on her, she was 6 foot surely, and all I could hear was no step, only the rattle of the, you know, the six I had down.
Yeah.
The two of us went, Jack went that way and I went that way right quick. We didn't wait to see where she went. Never spoke nor nothing. So that must have been a ghost.
Another thing that happened to me, I don't know when it was, long years ago. I was only, I think I was about 11 or 12, and there was people down the street from us, O'Grady's in Springfield, and they lived in a house in at the back of us. We could see it, and Patsy Grady was in hospital. He wasn't well. He'd had a heart attack, and Daddy came down from upstairs and he said to Mammy, "Patsy Grady is dead." And she said, "How do you know?" He said, "I've just seen him over the house." So his figure over the house. And Mammy went out the door, because she was very friendly with her. And there was a nun pulling up at O'Grady's. Queen and Hillary had died. He was sitting on the bed just going to shave, and he dropped dead. And then my own instance of something the same was my mother died in February 1988. And I'd been down in my sister's in Kilran with her from early Saturday morning, and I came home Monday lunchtime to get a shower and have, a break. And I lay down on the bed in the bedroom, had a little snooze, woke up and saw Daddy at the bedroom window. Now Daddy was dead from 1950, 65. Saw Daddy at the window, little tap, and I knew she was gone. Did he come for her? Next thing the phone rang, Joan rang me. Mammy had died.
Stop, you're making me hear something about me.
But it's the truth.
There's a stream runs down as you're walking down to Eden Vale. It's about halfway down. The water runs down off of the hill, down through those trees, into a little kind of a well. And there's a stone in the well, which you'd swear it was blood that's on it. So it makes out there was a priest murdered there years ago. And it was his blood, and no matter how much the water's running there all the time, but the red thing is still there,
It's the same as down in Kildavin in the Deer Park. There's a little bridge. As you go down a good bit and you're nearly coming out in the other end, down in the other end of Murntown. And there's a little bridge, and at that side of that bridge there's a big flat stone. There's another flat stone over there and another there. And there's blood on each of these three. And they say that's where there was a priest in the troubled times was murdered.
Yeah.
And that's the blood on the stone.
Yeah, they tell you about this.
We always went to see it, and there's never no grass nor never nothing around the bridge or anything like that. It's always there plain and clean,
I heard that this man went out, he went out after rabbits, and he was out for a couple of hours, and he went around this field, but he couldn't get out of it. No way could he see where he went into it, and he went in the gate, but no way could he get out of it. And he sat down and he rested, and he said the dog started to Kearney he had with him, so he got up, he said, and his mother used to tell him, he used to hear stories at his own home place that if you change your coat, turn the inside out, you go over it. And he changed his coat, and he was able to walk over the field.
Yeah, they used to have lights trapping rabbits then.
blinding the rabbits.
Yeah.
And
Did
to go
that
into the
happen?
field.
Did that not happen to Tony Furlong?
I don't
Up
know.
there.
I don't know.
And he was stuck.
But he was
couldn't get out.
walking around and around and around the field and couldn't find the gate, like.
Well, over at my granny's, and there was a wood out opposite the house, you see, and there was a hen used to lay out. And we used to go out there. Oh, there was 4 or 5 of us in it, like, you know, Nelly and Maggie and Nancy and Jack still all this. But anyhow, we were out in this wood and we were looking for for these hen's nest. And we returned, and it was only on the bank, and we couldn't get back out of the wood. So somebody suggested turn your coat inside out and let you get out that way, you see. And we got out away off up on the back road, up at Marshes.
There was a priest here in Castlebridge. He was a parish priest, Father Cloney, and he was called out to this man that was dying. And now at that time there was no transport, and he went on horseback. And he said when he came out and reached the road, that this black dog went the whole way with him, and he had 2 eyes of fire. And he said that he stayed with him until he went into the house. And when he came out, he said the black dog went halfway with him, and he never seen him anymore.
When I was, what was I, about 12 I'd say, we were invited to my aunt's wedding. And they got married early in the morning that time, and they were coming in from Featherdown-Sea, and the wedding reception was on in, what's that restaurant that far in town? The
Star?
The Star restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was there, but I wasn't feeling well, so I was sent home, and the fair day was on. I had to come up through all them elements and get home. But anyway, Joan stayed, and this was 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. They were down there waiting for this couple to come in. I don't know, it was early. And she said she saw, I think, is that Oyster Lane over on that?
Yeah, Oyster Lane.
She saw a carriage, a horse and carriage coming up that lane with a headless coachman. And the carriage stopped, she said, and he got into the carriage and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
It's funny.
My grandfather on my father's side said that he was coming home from Enniscorthy, and it was the time of the Troubles, and the horse was trotting along the road, and it was at 12 o'clock at night, and the next thing the horse stopped up, and he tried to get him going, and he gave him a belt of a stick, and there was no use, and he got out, and the bridge was blown up in the troubled times, and the horse knew. In black dark, the horse seen it, and he wouldn't go any further. And after that, he said he'd been killed.
Did you ever hear the dead carriage?
Oh, the headless horses or whatever it is.
Their heads on these.
No,
No, the dead carriage. I often heard it myself passing by, I suppose. Don't look out. Don't let you go to the door to look out after. It's very unlucky. And I heard, you know, the way the roads were long going gravelly.
Yeah.
And you'd hear the car or the coach passing by. It's nice, and a Protestant had died that week. And that used to happen all right. A Protestant had died.
My sister went to be a nun, and she was 19. And myself and my mother and Joe, that was another sister. The 3 of us were sitting at the fire. And it was the night before Molly went. Molly was in Kilcorl. And we were sitting at the fire, and it was midnight. And the next thing, this coach, we live now up in the fields, no road near us. And next thing, this coach went through the yard, and you could hear the tackling, and you could hear the wheels, and you could hear the horses going right by the door galloping. And my mother said, that's the coach. And I said, what coach? And she said, no coach at all. And sure, you had heard there were people, you know what I mean, all around me, that a coach follows someone that's going away or dying. So the next day she said, that was the coach. She said, Molly's going to tomorrow. She said, and that was the coach taking her away. And we heard it, and the 3 of us stopped, and we listened. And it was the very same as we coach passing the door out there. And they're going, and I heard that, and I was 16 at the time, and Molly was 19, and she was going to the convent, and it was the coach was coming.
We did a wisp, yeah. And in the winter time, you'd see this kind of big ball of fire like around it. so round about that size, and they go rolling all up and down right across from one end of the up to here. I'd see him in the night, yeah. And they said it was some kind of a
Bird, was it?
no, it wasn't a bird. It's something that come out of a bog. You see, I forget that. You'd remember when you'd be told it. It was something to do with whatever was in the bog, I think. But it was a ball, higher like. And it would go round and round and round. It wouldn't be up very high. And you see, it travelled across the bog, I don't know how far. It must have went away up, maybe up to Edenville or somewhere, I don't know where it went. Yeah.
This man was going home from a dance, and the dances used to be in Glynn. And there was a car drive first. There wasn't money to build a school, and there was a car drive first and then be dances afters. And this man used to play a bit of music with an accordion. And he was going home, and it was about 1 or half 1 in the morning, and he was passing by this graveyard. And there was a big ball of fire came out and went right through the front wheel. And he said he kept on riding until he got home and he threw the bicycle at the door. And when next morning when he went out, there wasn't a spoke left in the front wheel.
Dan Stevens was an old man that lived up the Bracketstone Lane, which is high ground away above, higher than we are here. And he maintained that years, hundreds or maybe thousands of years ago, that the tide, all Castlebridge and all, was covered with water. And it even must have gone up the lane, he said, as well. It must have been up there. Because I was going home one night and there was a 3-masted schooner across the lane, he said. And I had to get out in the field to get around her. But Dad didn't always tell the truth.